trails Karl Anthony Towns, and Murray along two was left wide open from deep. 8 points, got into the paint.
Reed for Minnesota defensively
Has been one of the clutch mid-range.
There's a hand check on a guy that's not really going
so far in the series. Up to the wing, Gordon. He had to
make sure you've got an extra body in the paint.
Wow. Is playing in only his 9th. The screen, pocket pass, one more.
Pocket behind him.
Here's Con for 3, then pulls in game 2. Test by the Timberwolves, and Cat on the pick and pop. And World knocks down his side. Deep on the regular season. Hooker on the post up, saw 2 little hook shot at game right now. Edward by his good friend out of Atlanta.
Michael Malone said he was emphasizing.
Face it out. McDaniels comes up 62 feet from the basket. Double team at Joker. In rhythm for 3. Left to
Daniels' chest right there. You might earn a couple of.
Impenetrable as a defender. TNT. It's Gobert screen. A little bit strong. Favorite.
He's the Wizard of Nas around here.
Pin down Edwards, pocket pass.
On the backside for that drop-off pass.
Gobert with a good contest. We all know why as we're in the action. Couldn't make out the rebound. Show and go. That's his free dancing off the dribble. Good contest. Got downhill and lays it, especially late when Carlins and drop after taking just 13. Donovan Mitchell was sublime.
Series back into it.
To work in a hurry. All the way to the basket. Jamal Murray in the previous game.
Could not get there. He was hands, use his body to shield it and get 2 more.
Too much sauce, but it comes right.
Has to do with the fact that I think their defense, he was never worried about the Nuggets defense.
Murray in the midi, and not comes off. Karl in the corner. Holiday. Not
the bounce pass was the only way to get.
Alexander Walker, another one that on the bounce, got to the rim in late time.
Yeah, one up fake. You're going to.
Assistant coach has done such a great job.
12 minutes of play in that department.
Yeah, we played.
Minute on the inside defensively, but they had.
Murray sprays it out to the baseline. Holiday.
On a shooter on the opposite side.
Nas Green. Towns was in a. That's going to be a foul.
When you rise up for that jumper.
At 11. Alexander Walker, Gordon with the ball, one of them. Head to head. Tough fadeaway. Calls from the sidelines. Game. Porter Jr. draws the foul.
There, and he was sort of in a jog mode back.
5 points, 3 assists.
Is the column that says turnovers, game 2.
It's going to be a foul on
an adjustment for Chris Finch.
Caldwell Pope on the baseline. Not Edwards got all the way to the screen on Alexander Walker
for a shot, but he's always looking along
court. Conley underneath. Oh, a little bit. What does Minnesota have to do to get
touched it? You get a nice post touch.
Karl Anthony Towns got to be happy with what he sees.
Several opportunities that he had to get up if Minnesota makes a run.
Edwin an open 3, and he's not
sure great athlete. The 3 points
got inside, blocked by Jokic. Edwards popped the clutch,
and you see why it's so important. Because
nobody got out on KCP, but Connolly pulls the 3. Staring down Nikhil off the screen. We have a whistle.
Shot off.
Porter Jr. in front. Pass. Gobert strolling through. It's got a nice ring to it.
It sure does.
Room after that win. Have a whistle and a foul. That's his second foul, which goes against the not a major part of the Nuggets.
It's not dictating where the Nuggets.
Edwards burrowing as Willie brings it across. Into the body. Reed lays 6th man of the year. Nas Reed. Been afraid to get too close.
AU circuit. When he was a 15er.
Joker series. No team has ever come back. They're at the overtime. All these events are also streaming on
Nemhart. Wow. To give Indiana a win.
Hezzy, that's his spot. 9 points in the ball game. McLaughlin and nice feed inside. Allen almost walked with it. Here's Gordon with the step back 3. Skip pass. Wide open Jamal Murray. Not
sides of the floor. It went inside out.
McLaughlin. That one comes out to Towns in rhythm for 3. Gordon calls Murray off the rip screen into the corner for 3. We are underway here inside McDaniels.
To try to get a flow offense.
Here's Gordon with the long.
Said, well, our execution is not the same.
Right here to try to get some momentum.
Up at the midcourt line. Got a sliver of daylight and catch.
At that time to get KCP some space.
Sure, here's Murray. Guarded by on McDaniels. Tough fadeaway.
Better physically. That extra day.
Lacerates the lane. Got a hand up. Good contest. Pulls the three. On drive. Never had a chance. Let's pick up Jamal Murray on that sequence.
Come up big when they have to have it.
Great pass inside. Denver able to keep them at arm's length. To a wide open Gordon.
Every catch and attack, it all leads to an
Porter Jr. with space. Conley, McDaniel. Joker just running interference. Raises up for three. 7-4, and then Denver, Minnesota game 4. And 5-on-5 at the Yoke.
Going and get some run going for a stark contrast from what we saw.
Tough mid-range. Couple of guys to do some extra shooting. To Anthony Towns. They last led 10-9. McDaniels bottled up, pulls. Did in game 2.
Yeah, it stood out to me about what the tone of this.
Got downhill with the left hand. That's going to be an offensive. The pass on the wing. Alexander Walker on Murray. Up on him so far.
This that patented spin into a jump hook.
Up to Jokic. Back tap.
Holiday has risen to the challenge.
Nice pass to Jokic.
The floor, and Jokic read it perfectly.
Throws it up for connection. Aaron Gordon traveling. Jump hook by Kyle Landry on 3. Reed for 3. Got it.
Looks, Nas Reed has hardly had any.
Got the 3 off in time.
And there is extra passes to be made.
Never really had a chance to make it. Downs on the drive. Foul. Okay.
For Denver that you have to avoid.
For freely in their off
tap. Now taking advantage of all drive. Has a little bit of response to this.
Joe for this next one. Got a contested knock loose. Shots, do you think?
The player carrying it forward to Sunday.
Jackson, Joker set a 5% in the postseason. A silencer put
to take control and put Denver on the
line. Brown got a pull.
And I think it was a lot of it because he cornered with aggressiveness.
In that 4 games really worked out for him. Brown saw that shot of off the Gordon. McDaniel in a foot race. Punt.
Wow. In this game, it's a bit late now. They could have used more of that. Body up on these charges anymore. He got for a star player. You don't mind giving.
You would know.
Playing with a big lead, and they're coming one pass
against McDaniels. Minnesota trying to make another run.
Back in right here.
Whistle and a foul.
About 3 to 4 minutes here. And see.
Lost his. McDaniels picks him up. Inside Porter Jr. But that was the intent of the message.
And gets their first title the way this group down the stretch over the last couple.
Joker missed it. And Minnesota couldn't walk down Gobert. Behind Denver with numbers. Murray
for the Timberwolves or Jamal Murray
out the 5.
First of all, to save the capable of advancing the ball against the bigger.
Alexander Walker for 3. Aaron Gordon turned the corner.
On executing.
They activate the blender, put Denver in
night based on the way that he played. Was in motion to get off the floor.
He actually walked off the floor, traded about how the game has gone so far.
McDaniels is playing in the game. He's
in that situation.
To do 5 minutes to go. DJ in the NBA. He's best.
He has said has just like Denver had to put game 2 behind them. Minnesota won't have as much time to get to
the Luka Garza. Great pass. Denver Nuggets shooting out to Holiday. Day Morris, the former Denver.
Warren just checked in for Minnesota.
Zeke Naji battling underneath. Good contest by Holiday. Here he is with the ball on the wing. Jackson fires.
And look, I think the Hits were not very active since out of Denver. I think they're not shutting their water off every night.
April has more. Strother.
From his team on the offensive end was assists, and they gave up 19 points off of.
Angel, great point. Pardon me. Success.
And expected a response. Really on both ends of the floor, but again.
Maniacal about being able to in the basement gym.
Important to emphasize this
Screen into the paint.
against a high-pressure defensive team.
During the regular season and screen us.
Are you kidding me?
I feel you. McLaughlin throws up this. Minnesota sidelines coming off of knee.
That one out, but came in.
Training staff right around him in his midst. That's the final score. Play against each other. 1s and 5-on-5 at the Yoke.
Figure out a way to get this crowd going and get some run going. For the problem tonight, which is a stark contrast from what we saw.
Stares down Murray. Tough mid-range in game 2 and said, I want a couple of guys to do some extra shooting. Edwards sprays it out to Anthony Towns. Hole all night. They last led 10-9. Inside for Gobert. McDaniels bottled up, pulls. To strangle Denver the way they did in game 2.
Yeah, it stood out to me since that game. It told me a lot about what the tone of this.
Porter Jr. onto him. Got downhill with the left hand. That's going to be an offensive. Although Pope denied the pass on the wing, Alexander Walker. It's a screen to relieve a little bit of pressure on Murray. Guarded by Naz Reid, who's done a nice job on him so far.
This entire side to himself, and that patented spin into a jump hook.
In Denver. Gordon out to Jokic. Back tap.
It's been shortened for Michael Malone, but Justin Holiday has risen to the challenge.
Nice pass to Jokic.
Of arc when Gobert's not on the floor, and Jokic read it perfectly.
Jokic has scored the last 6. Throws it up for Gordon. And Gordon have a special kind of bond and connection. Aaron Gordon traveling Sombra. Jump hook by Kyle Landon. It's a 3-on-3. Reid for 3. Got it.
Denver is determined tonight to not give up looks. Naz Reid has hardly had any.
Out to Joker. Got the 3 off in time.
Overreact to penetration. And there is extra passes to be made.
Inside, tough pass. Never really had a chance to make it. Gave it to Anderson. Towns on the drive. Foul.
Incredibly compelling episodes.
Okay. Throw line.
Yeah, 2 things right now for Denver that you have to avoid.
Just seems to be moving a little more freely in their offense.
Primarily a facilitator in the first half, now taking advantage of arm. Got grabbed on that drive. And has a little bit far through 3 quarters. You can't ask for a better response than this.
Joke goes underneath the screen, now fights over this next one. Got to go in the 3rd. Anderson had it knocked loose. Ant-Man has to hunt some shots, do you think?
But they do have meaning for that player carrying it forward to Sunday.
Jackson, Joker set a 95% in the postseason. There has been a muffler, a silencer
for Minnesota. They expected to take control and put Denver on the
out against Kyle Anderson. Gordon on the baseline. Brown, chase action with Gordon, gets it back. Got a pull.
But the space was just not there for him. And I think it was a lot of it because he threw that spot so he could turn the corner with aggressiveness.
Really was a wonderful catalyst in that 4-game clean slate to begin here, and it's really worked out for him. And you said they have a team full of them. Brown. Walker on the floor. Saw that shot of off the Gordon. Caught up in the air and turned it over. McDaniel in a foot race.
Punt their 5th turnover. Wow. In this game, it's a bit to get the crowd going. Might be a little too late now. They could have used more of that. I'm going to strongly consider not giving my body up on these charges anymore. He just got run over again there. And for a star player, you don't mind giving.
It's allowed, right?
That's right. That's right.
You would know.
That shows you how comfortable they are right now because you're playing with a big lead and they're coming one pass.
Brown brings it across against McDaniels. Minnesota trying to make another run.
Picture right now and why you put them back in right here.
Whistle and a foul.
Take with you out of the game. They're probably going to give them about 3 to 4 minutes here. And see
with 7 on the shot clock. Lost his and back out to Jokic. McDaniels picks him up. Murray back out to Joker. Inside Porter Jr. business, and I'm paraphrasing here, but that was the intent of the message.
That reaches the pinnacle and gets their first title the way this group gear, and I agree with you. Denver found that down the stretch over the last couple.
They left them alone. Joker missed it. Missed it again. Consecutive turnovers, and Minnesota for the MVP. Couldn't walk down Gobert. Got ripped from behind. Denver with numbers. Murray.
It was either for the Timberwolves or Jamal Murray.
Alexander Walker as well, rounding out the five. What's that do for your offense?
Well, it's smart, first of all, to save the pressure when Aaron Gordon more than capable of advancing the ball against the bigger Nuggets.
Alexander Walker for three. Aaron Gordon turned the corner.
Denver came out tonight intent on executing.
Full team comes. They activate the blender, put Denver in.
For answering the bell the way that he did tonight, based on the way that he played. Hit consecutive technicals and then motion to get off the floor for Nickeil Alexander Walker.
Yeah.
After that non-call, that he actually walked off the floor for Minnesota, just frustrated about how the game has gone so far.
Last year when Jaden McDaniels was playing in the game,
you've got to be able to control your emotions in that situation.
To a line to 75 with 5 minutes to go. DJ Gobert, the best defender in the NBA. He's best
off success they've had early. Everything he has said has just no more than one game. Just like Denver had to put game two behind them to make adjustments as well. Minnesota won't have as much time to get to.
Collegists define it. Inside Luka Garza, great pass. 4.5 minutes to go. Denver Nuggets shooting here. Jackson sprays it out to Holiday. There's Monte Morris, the former Denver.
Masters are in the NBA. TJ Warren just checked in for Minnesota.
Peyton Watson. Zeke Naji battling underneath. Morris guarded by Holiday on the wing. Good contest by Holiday and Warriors. Here he is with the ball on the wing. Championship back in 2021. Jackson fires. 3:05 to play.
And look, I think the floor offensively, they just were not very active. Penetration to force reactions out of Denver. I think they're a great offensive team. Right. They're going to have nights like this. You're not shutting their water off every night, least.
April has more. Strother.
One word Coach Malone said he needed to see from his team on the offensive end was they had more turnovers than assists, and they gave up 19 points off of.
Angel, great point. Pardon me. How teams handle success.
And point, I think Minnesota expected a response. Entire night they lost aggressiveness and confidence really on both ends of the floor, but again,
so that he is so maniacal about being able to. They couldn't find a place, Tim. They ended up in the basement gym.
But I do think it is important to emphasize this.
Off the screen into the paint.
In the two games in Denver against a high-pressure defensive team.
Amongst leaguers during the regular season and screen us.
It's a screen for me. I wanted to give a Rolex to. Are you kidding me? Back, how many screens did you set for me?
I feel you. McLaughlin throws up this. Minnesota Chris Finch watches from the sidelines, coming off of knee.
We were thinking that he was going to sit that one out, but came in.
They got some of the best medical training staff right around him in his midst. That's the final score.